So you are gonna need to roll out a long slab in order to make your cylinder. So you do need like more clay than the other projects. And I'm gonna start by squeezing the clay out by hand. And I'm going for like a rectangle shape because we're trying to go for a rectangle in our final slab. So generally push it out into a rectangle shape first, flip it over to get it nice and even. Okay, and then you can start rolling it. When I'm rolling my slabs out, I'm starting from the middle and roll to the outer edge, and I'm pressing not very hard on the edge because it's going to get thinner naturally on the edges. So then you flip it over and keep rolling on this side. Want it to be not too thin because we want it to be, again, withstand outside. So we want this slab to be on the thick side. So I'll check again. Okay, my template fits. It's not too thin. And then I'm gonna work on perfecting like the surface. So you can see I have a couple bubbles and stuff. So I'm gonna poke holes in those bubbles and then start to compress my slab. So I've just like sprayed a little bit of water on it, and you'll start to see as I compress the slab with my rubber rib here. I'm doing it in all different directions, and you'll start to see those bubbles kind of come to the surface and then start to pop. So that's kind of what we're looking for, nice and compressed. If you're still having issues with the bubbles not popping, then just pop it with the needle tool and keep going over it until it's all smooth. Okay, this side, same thing. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of water, not a lot, it's just like dampening the surface, and then I'm gonna compress the whole slab. Okay, so now I have my slab all compressed, and I'm gonna use my template to just cut out my big long rectangle, cut all the way, and I'm kind of keeping my needle tool straight up and down so that it has nice straight cuts. And then I can put all this clay off to the side. I can use this to like add my embellishments, or you can just put this right into the reclaim bucket if you're not ready to add stuff to it yet. And then you can see like the general thickness. I would say it's between the thickness of like my pinky and my index finger. So that's kind of the thickness that we're going for. Now I'm gonna take my cylinder, my cardboard cylinder, and we're wrapping it around until our edges meet here. Perfect, it looks really good. So now what we're going to do is do kind of like a miter cut so that our edges meet nicely here. So what that looks like is using my needle tool, I'm going to line up my corners. So you can see I'm gonna cut off a little bit of clay here and a little bit of clay here, so that then when the two pieces of clay meet, they match up nicely. So I'm just going to hold my needle tool in this position, and I'm kind of holding the clay like that as well. And I'm gonna go all the way down the seam like that. It's a little tricky. If you need help with this, please just ask me. I'm so happy to help you. So you can see now I've cut off on an angle for each piece of clay, and I'm just gonna remove that extra clay. Now I'm just going to score and slip along these edges. So I'm using my scoring tool, and I'm going to rough up the surface of each piece of clay here. Really rough. Nice deep gouges on both pieces of clay. If you don't do this, then when you attach your two pieces of clay, you'll end up with a really big crack here, which is exactly what we want to avoid. Okay, so I've roughed up both surfaces, and I'm just going to add a little spritz of water to one side, and now I have a really nice edge that I can like press that joint together. And I'm using like the little cardboard thing to kind of press that connection together. And I'm gonna keep using that to my advantage to really smooth this seam over before I remove the cardboard tube. So smooth the seam. We're not just trying to smooth the seam over, we're trying to create a new surface of clay with no crack or seam in it. So you can see I've really taken my time with my rubber rib to get it nice and smooth. Work on the top again too. Now remove the tube, and now I can also take some time. I'm just gonna use my fingers for this, and I'm just gonna join this seam together too. We wanna be pretty gentle when we're doing this, so you can kind of use a combo of like your finger and your rubber rib tool. And I'm bracing against the table so that I really don't like change the shape of the tube. So that looks pretty good. So now I have a really nice like basic cylinder form. This is good for your totem. You can score and slip. I would let this set up for maybe a week or like a day or two, and let it set up and get more firm before you score and slip and attach other details onto this, because it's so flexible. But you do have a really basic, nice shape now, nice smooth surface that you can add your designs onto. If you were going to turn this into a vase, you would like roll out another slab, do the same compressing, and then use this as your template to cut your vase base out, and then score and slip it onto the bottom here. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching.